Hey there viewers, welcome back to Ray of All Trades. Today we are working on my dad's axe, pickaxe. You can see that the head's coming loose on it, and having to bump it on the ground every time you want to swing it is not the safest way to do anything. So let's get the old wedge out, get out that cone wedge too, put a new wedge in this thing and reseat it for him so he can use this again. Maybe we'll also sharpen up the edge a little bit. Today we're going to be working with a set of Walter drill bits, probably some of the best I've ever come across. I'll link them down in the description. This drill index got a fantastic holder. They hold their edge. They hold their edge a really long time. Lasted a lot longer than some of the other big box drill bit sets. I know a lot of people are going to say, why spend more? But honestly, if the bits last, it seems kind of worth it to me. So take your time on this. We're just going to drill out the wedge. Pick. Let's get this wedge out of here. I know a lot of people are tempted to just, cut the head off, and but the thing is, the head is designed to sit on the shoulders of the axe, and this holds true of the pickaxe, regular axe, shovels, hammers, all of it. There we go. Let's see if we can get that wedge out of there. I might have to drill the center of that because it's grabbing a little bit of the head on both sides. I think we can save this. I don't want to go below. Getting the wedges out of this thing is the hardest part. I'm trying to use a wedge versus using a screwdriver. I've got it dug down on the front side here, and I'm just persuading it to move out. Not the appropriate use for the chisel, I know. There we go. Because it was still holding on to some of the wedge and some of the axe itself. So this head should slide right off now. Let's clean this up. Through my, make sure that the wedge goes at least 2/3 of the way down. This one is right at 2/3. I may take it down just a little bit further, and I think I'm also going to bring this chamfer down just a little bit to make it reseat on there. I see it's got a lot of curl there, but I'd like it to sit just a little bit deeper down. I like using a worn out flap disc and very, very light pressure to take some of this edge off of here. Just a worn out flap disc. You can see it just takes that edge right off of there. Very, very light pressure. I'm going to take just a little bit more out of here. Go. So yes, there's some cracks in the wood. It'd be an ideal time to change it out, but the handle's got a little bit of life left in it, so I might as well try to reuse it, see what I can come up with. So let me dig through my stash of wedges and see what I can come up with. Be right back. Okay, so I changed your angle a little bit. I dug through assortment of wedges that I had. That one's got a pretty wide angle on the top. This one is pretty decent. Looks like it goes about there before it starts really pushing out on the wood. These are too narrow. So it's between these two. And honestly, they're really close to about the same. These are just wedges that when I have the bandsaw out, I just cut different wedges on any sort of a hardwood I can find. I think this one gives it a little bit better bite. It basically doesn't go down as far before it starts hitting this edge. So I want it to be able to push out pretty hard. So let's go ahead and figure out the width of this. So set it lined up back here. So I want to cut up this angle. All right, and since that's basically bottomed out right there, I'm also going to cut off about there. I want to take off this much material across so that I can start the wedge early and make it flare out. So let me go square this up, cut this off so that all I have left is this piece right here in the middle. Be right back. Okay, cut the wedge down. Let me clean up the edges a little bit. Alright, how close are we here? Yep. So, what I'm looking at is the depth of the wedge. It'll be bottomed out before this goes flat, which is ideal because we want to be able to trim the top off. We want to make sure that it goes out proud over the top of the axe, meaning that it goes beyond pieces of metal. And we want to make sure that it's got a pretty decent bite on the wood. As a matter of fact, I think this might be a little bit too much. Let me smooth this out a little bit. Yep. I think that might actually do it. Trying to see which one is the closest fit. I'm looking down the eyelet here and seeing which one of the wood is the closest absolute fit to it. This wedge might be too thick. It's a little tighter than I thought it was going to be. If this head hadn't come off of this handle, I would say that I needed to keep working on this. But knowing that this came off of here, I think I just need to work on it a little bit. Okay, that was pretty tight fit. Okay, you guys remembered that I took some of this curl off of here. It's because I wanted this head to bite down on there a lot harder than what it was. And you'll see here in a second how we do that. All right, so you see it. If we just wedged it like that, it would work, but it'll come loose. So what we're going to do is give it a little bit of a bite at first. All right. I want to take and hold the handle in my hand a little bit loose so that it has room to move. And I'm going to hit the very bottom of the handle. Watch what happens. See all that new fresh curl that occurred here? Right? That's because it's actually working its way down the head. Right. It bounced up just a little bit, so I'm going to set it back down again. That's about all I'm going to get out of it. Okay. So you see all the space I need to make up? We've got to set that wedge in there to push all this out as much as possible. So that's what I'm trying to make up with that wedge. Let's do one last dry fit. Looks like it needs to be thinner on the front than on the back. Let me just smooth that down a little bit. Yep, that ought to do it. Then grab a little bit of your favorite wood glue. A lot of people say this step's not necessary. I disagree. Buckin Billy Ray taught me this one.
Dad, do you need the truck?
No. So that glue is going to do a couple things. Number one, it's going to lubricate the wedge for sending it down. Second thing it's going to do is dry and work like glue. Then use a large hammer to try to get it all at the same time so that your wedge doesn't crack while you're driving it down. Well, that broke. Still wedged in pretty good though. It's starting to crown out on the top here. That's the idea. Bye, love you, have a good day. Okay. Wedge is down, cracked on the way down. So let's go ahead and cut that off. So I decided on this one to leave it somewhat proud. I just want to clean up the top. So you can take a coping saw and cut it completely flat if you want, right across the top. I like having just that little bit of extra curl out over the top. It's a little bit of pressure on the outside. It's very minor. You'd have to use a micrometer to see it. Okay. And that's what it looks like. Right, you can see that the wedge cracked right there. I finished driving it in though. It's got a really tight bite on it. It does have some proudness sticking out. So this edge of the wood is coming out just a little bit, and that way out a little bit. It helps hold it in. The wedge that we pulled out, cone wedges, they work fantastic, but I do want to clean this one up on the wire wheel. So I'll be right back. Clean it up on the wire wheel a little bit. Alright, so the cone goes down. I'm going to try to put it back in the exact same place it was, because there's all fresh material that's been pushed over. Just recessing a little bit. And like I said, like Buckin Billy Ray says, a little bit of Watco. Put it in that wood there. Get a little bit of rejuvenating going on. Got a little shape to it. Get a cap full. Let's help that work its way down. Let that sit for a little bit. Let's touch up the edge a little bit. Just take some of the burrs off of there, not much. And you want this one somewhat blunt, but I'm just going to take some of the edges off of it. Looks like the majority of that Watco worked its way in. some sort of a tree sap. One can lasts a really long time. Let's rub that in. There we go. Here's our new wood curl, saying that the head got pushed down further. If you couldn't tell by how far that's sticking up. And just cleaned up the edge on here, rounded the edge up here a little bit more, and it's going to be a lot longer before this head comes loose. Anyway, hope you guys got something out of the video. Appreciate you joining me for the day. And you smash that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. You'll see whenever I release new videos. It also tells YouTube that I'm doing a good job and tells me what kind of videos you like to see. As always, thanks for hanging out, guys.